It was the final regular season game of the year for USC Upstate and Northern Kentucky here inside the Hodge Center on the campus of USC Upstate, and it was Northern Kentucky able to win it 83-60 along with Aaron Cox, Tom Van Hoy, and kind of a tough night all the way around. It was tied early, but a 24-4 run opened it up for Northern Kentucky, led by 13 points at halftime. Got within 10 of the second half, did USC Upstate, but it was Northern Kentucky's day.
And really gets a lot of three-pointers on Northern Kentucky's end, a lot of them coming in early, stretching out that lead that you mentioned. And Upstate just really had a horrible time trying to score in the first half. Now, they're able to turn things around in the second half. A much better game in the second half. Offense coming in from 2 and 3 individuals. But really, you dug yourself a big hole in the first half, and it was tough for them to get out of it.
Yeah, and rebounding was a big key in the game, which we'll see here in just a little bit. We'll get a chance to take a look at some of the action from this basketball game, and Brittany Starling, we'll talk about her more in a moment here, able to knock that one down. Only one basket in the first half, but a strong second half. Charmaine Edwards involved in the first half particularly. She
had 8 of her points coming in the first half, and really early on when we talked about Upstate's struggles, it was Edwards who was leading the way and keeping the team in the ball game.
How about Maddie? There's her three-pointer. It came early. She had 4 more in the second half and really put on a display here this afternoon from long range.
She was the scorer for the team in the second half. 5 total three-pointers in the game, 20 total points, a career high for her. And then Starling coming on late as she was able to really battle down low, get some tough boards and some tough rebounds.
Yeah, Kristen Dickerson, nice to see her get back in, and you'll see this play here. This was the one where Starling was able to go over 1,000 points in her career. Going off, what are the seniors? Shelby Hicks and Lauren Bogle and Charmaine Edwards as well. It was an emotional ceremony before the game. 4 players as seniors. You know, it's pretty tough. Easy for you and I to sit over here. We're going on to the next game, but for them, their career's coming to an end.
Absolutely. You saw the emotion before in the pregame ceremony, especially by Bogle. It was shown getting emotional before the game started. That's a tough thing to try to turn off the waterworks a little bit and get the game playing. Lots of emotion going on, and you could see that in the play from the Spartans, that they were very emotional out there, a little bit streaky maybe as a result of that emotion. A hard-fought game obviously didn't go the way that they wanted to go, but nothing to be ashamed of here tonight. They left it all on the floor.
Well, it was the final regular season game of the year, and there were a lot of ramifications about playoff possibilities in this one as well. You get a look at the updated at this point with the game as we do this. A game to be played tonight, Florida Gulf Coast and Jacksonville, and logged in Florida Gulf Coast instead at 1-2, Northern Kentucky at 3. Way we understand the way things played out today with Northern Kentucky winning and Upstate losing, no matter what happens tonight, Upstate is going to be the 6th seed, and we anticipate that they're going to go back and play Northern Kentucky again coming up in the first round on Friday night.
And it always creates an interesting matchup when you play the same team so close together. You learn a couple of things from the first matchup. We obviously saw in the very first game of the season between these two teams a much closer game, a 3-point margin in favor of the Norse, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a much closer game in the tournament.
Well, we were talking about how Brittany Starling and Maddie Hurd did. You saw a lot of the highlights, and it's reflective on how they did overall in the ball game today.
Maddie Hurd, what a way to finish out your last game here at the Hodge Center. A career-high 20 points. A career high before that was just 12, so really pouring it in from downtown. We mentioned the 5 three-pointers. And then Starling, who was quiet with only 2 points in the first half, ends up with 16. A lot of those very hard-fought points down low, battling the whole time, and ends up coming away with a double-double. Her 23rd double-double of her career.
Yeah, strong in the second half, and as you mentioned, her historic numbers there to a certain extent. Get a look at the final numbers here. I mean, you shoot 32.2%. Started pretty hot in the second half, but cooled off a bit. Northern Kentucky had an answer every single time. They were just solid from the field, from three-point range, as you mentioned in this one, but the glaring number is the rebounding numbers there in favor of Northern Kentucky.
Absolutely. Plus 24, almost doubling up the Spartans, and then also a corollary point at the bottom there, points in the paint, as they had a 16-point advantage. So really all things down low went in favor of the Norse, and that always gives you a strong backbone to try to come up with a win, and the Spartans, despite the hot streak from Hurd downtown late, were not able to overcome that.
Well, it does come to an end, regular season play for USC Upstate here. We're looking for a win and have an opportunity to play at home in the first round of the playoffs, but going to go back on the road. Good news is you still have an opportunity. You have to go on the road and play and win some ball games to have a chance. If you win the ASUN postseason tournament, you have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. But there is going to be another home game, and it'll be an ESPN3 broadcast, and the men, Eddie Payne will be here coming up on Tuesday night. and it'll be 7 o'clock against Kennesaw State, so we wish them luck in their endeavors as they do have an opportunity to play at home on Tuesday night. Playoffs are here, and encourage folks to come out and watch that game and enjoy that broadcast. So I enjoyed the broadcast with you here.
Same here.
This afternoon. The crew obviously very good as well. We appreciate their help along the way. Again, Northern Kentucky knocks off USC Upstate with a final score of 83-60 here from the Hyde Center.